Key principles of classical economies. Says law supply creates its own demand. Producing goods and services generates income needed to purchase those goods and services. Flexible prices and wages. Price and wages adjust quickly to changes in supply and demand. Full employment due to flexibility of wage and prices. Minimal government intervention. Free markets are most efficient way to allocate resources and achieve economic stability. Principles of Keynesian economics. Aggregate demand. The total spending by households, businesses, and governments is the primary driver of economic output and employment. Lack of self-correction. Free markets do not possess built-in mechanisms that automatically lead to full employment. Government intervention. The government can and should use countercyclical fiscal policies to stabilize the economy. Short-term focus. Keynesian economists prioritize fixing short-term economic problems, as, in the long run, we are all dead. Sticky prices. Prices for goods and services may not adjust quickly, leading to situations where the economy produces less than its full potential. When ad greater than as. Excess demand. Ad greater than as indicates that buyers want to buy more than is available. Economic adjustment. This imbalance forces producers to raise output, employment, and prices. Inflationary pressure. The dominant effect is rising prices due to the high demand. Return to equilibrium. The adjustments in output and prices eventually restore balance, making AD equal to as again. When is greater than ad. When aggregate demand AD is less than aggregate supply AS, planned spending is less than planned production, leading to an unintended accumulation of unsold goods and services inventories. This excess supply forces producers to cut production, causing income, output, and employment levels to fall. This process continues until the economy returns to equilibrium, where AD equals is, typically with a reduction in the overall price level. Crowding out effect. 1. Increased government borrowing. When the government spends more, it often needs to borrow money to finance that spending. 2. Increased demand for loanable funds. This government borrowing increases the demand for the limited supply of savings available in the economy. 3. Rising interest rates. The increased demand for funds pushes up market interest rates. 4. Reduced private investment. Higher interest rates make it more expensive for private businesses and individuals to borrow money for investment and consumption. 5. Crowding out. Consequently, private sector investment and consumption decrease, effectively being crowded out by the government's increased activity. Inflation is a rise in the general prices of goods and services, which erodes purchasing power. Interest rates are the cost of borrowing money, set by central banks to manage the economy. When inflation is high, central banks tend to raise interest rates to discourage borrowing and spending, thereby cooling economic activity and curbing price increases. Conversely, lower interest rates can stimulate spending and potentially increase inflation. How they relate. Inflation management. The primary link is that central banks use interest rates as a tool to control inflation. Spending power. High inflation means your money buys less over time. Raising interest rates makes borrowing more expensive, leading people to spend less and save more, reducing the demand that drives up prices. Economic activity. Higher interest rates slow economic growth, which helps ease inflation, while lower rates can stimulate it. Impact of higher interest rates. Increased cost of debt. Borrowing for things like mortgages or business loans becomes more expensive. Incentive to save. Higher rates on savings accounts make it more attractive to save, diverting funds from spending. Reduced investment. Businesses may slow down investments because the cost of borrowing for expansion is higher. When is inflation a concern? Moderate inflation is normal and can signal a healthy economy. However, when inflation rises too quickly, causing prices to surge, central banks may intervene by raising interest rates to prevent the economy from overheating. Impact of high inflation on individuals. Decreased purchasing power. You can buy less with the same amount of money, affecting your daily life. Effect on savings. The interest earned on savings accounts may not keep pace with inflation, reducing the real value of your savings. Impact on pensions and insurance. Inflation can affect the value of financial investments, pensions, and other financial products.